Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 9th, 2024 workshop of the Orlando City Council. Commissioners, today we're going to get an update from the Four Roots Farm. You'll remember that in 2021, Dr. Phillips facilitate use of 18 acres of property just south of the Grove, which is our newest park. And the vision for the campus is to gather and collaborate on solutions to address food insecurity by educating our community on how to grow and encourage sustainable food systems. It offers a unique hands-on experiences. I've been out to tour the first, I guess we'll call it first phase of the property, and it's pretty fabulous and can't wait. It's one of those things that you wish you could just look ahead 20 years and see what the campus has become. And kind of like to create a village, we look ahead and like that. But the founder and CEO, John Rivers, is here to provide us with an update. John, welcome to the podium and welcome to City Council.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the invitation to join you today. Today's presentation is easy. It's the project's going fantastic, construction's underway, and actually you guys are going to be some of the first to see the photos and the drawings of Phase 2, which we're very excited about. So let me walk you through the campus. As Mayor Dyer said, it's a vision to create a healthy, sustainable food system for our community, really to teach kids where food comes from, and also to provide food to them, which we've done through our feeding program. Last year we handed out 2.3 million meals by working with local farmers from all around the state to communities that truly needed the food and nutrition. As the mayor had indicated, we're just 2 miles outside of downtown on John Young Parkway. Dr. Phillips did indeed buy the property. We'll go for a drive. You guys are the first to actually see this. We just got this Friday, and quite frankly, I'm happy it's working. This will be the entrance coming off of John Young Parkway and coming in, and all of this infrastructure is built today. The campus is open. We got CO about 4 weeks ago, and Valencia College moved their entire agriculture program onto our campus just last week. So they started taking classes and using the facilities, and we should have up to almost 100 students per semester learning on some of the newest technology in the world about agriculture. So this is coming into the campus itself, and I looked at the array of nice cars. I said, well, I'm not quite sure that's going to quite look like that, but that's okay.
Yeah, you need a few farm trucks.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to our drawers. I'll walk you through some of these buildings and assets, but these are some of the very first that you see, the Discovery Center and the Culinary Health Institute. And as you come in, there'll be a beautiful farm stand, which I'll show you in just a little bit. And this is open to the public 7 days a week. There's no tickets, there's no restrictions, there's no costs. This is a gift that our family foundation wanted to give to the city. And as I go through all the assets, just like I do in all of our presentations, no matter who the group is, if you see things that you can use for meetings or for gatherings or for concerts or for events, please look at it selfishly and lean into it, because this is something that we want to bless the community with for many years to come. So this is the overall of the campus, and I'll show you just a few pieces to it and what it looks like once it's fully complete. And just like the Mayor said, we're finishing up Phase 1 now and going into Phase 2. There's 5 different areas of the campus: the marketplace, the farm, the campus classrooms, the lawn, and then the arrival. And if you look at the marketplace, this will be our next phase that's going through, the farm stand market, which we built this and designed it after Oxford Oxbow Market and Napa, which I love. It's such a beautiful facility that welcomes all types of artisan products and local fare. So there'll be produce, coffee stands, flowers that we grow, and all types of other things that local market will provide to us. And it's a beautiful open campus that you'll see that is very free flowing. And I'll show you some numbers later to give you an idea of just how many folks that we're going to be expecting to come in, but it's nearly 300,000 per year is a projection right now. It will have a true farm-to-table restaurant on the campus, and we're working with Chef Michael Kalantis, one of our Michelin chefs, and Chef Norman Van Aken. Those are our two chefs who will be working here. So the dream is to actually have a Michelin restaurant within a James Beard restaurant, because this particular one has two different facilities. It opens up to the lawn, so the entire thing is communal. We want the community to come out, we want them to engage, we want to enjoy it. We're building lots of different activation centers for all ages, from kids all the way up to grandparents, to be able to come out and enjoy the day. And you see it's just a beautiful indoor and outdoor facility. And then the event center. This is one of our next assets that's going up. It is a 10,000 square foot facility. It's built specifically with intention to seat 300 people, because we saw a need in the marketplace. If you have 100, 150, you can find a place in Central Florida downtown, but if you want to go up to 300 and above, you have to go out to the park. So we really saw the opportunity to build this specific for 300 so we can bring people and keep them in this area. In the rooms itself, it is being designed very open with a farm feel to it, which we're very excited about, and really looks beautiful in the design. And it's able to demise too. So as you look into the future and you'd like to have meetings or gatherings or state of the city, we hope one day you'll be able to do it here in the facility.
What year will that be, John?
I know it'll be probably, what are we, 26?
Okay.
So I can try to expedite it. Okay, the farm is the next area, which you'll see the barn and the whole area. We call it the retention river. It looks very pretty in the pictures, but it is a retention pond that we built. And the barn itself has a lot of play areas for kids, so they can come out and enjoy the day. And there's also some dining areas that we built into the area. And one of our favorite areas is called our permaculture forest, and we came up with a term. We want kids to come onto the campus, and we want them to wander and wonder. We want them, every time that they come there, learn something different and be excited about. They might not be farmers, that's okay, but learn about where their food comes from, and learn about nutrition, and how we have to interact with the planet, and how we have to protect it. So there's lots of kinetics and lots of hands-on and things that they can build on and grow on and climb on throughout a quarter-mile loop that goes around the entire farm. And we also are building a cooking cottage. And here we'll have cooking classes. We're doing this today with a lot of our citizens at a cooking class and a cooking school here on an ongoing basis. So it'll be able to sit 40 people for hands-on cooking demonstrations. And also we'll have a couple guest cottages, because we do anticipate having and interns and people that come in from afar in order to visit the campus. And beautiful areas in between. And then go out to the lawn. And this is really the community welcome center for the pavilion. Beautiful areas where we'll have events, we'll have farmers markets, art markets, heritage festivals leading up into the actual pavilion. And the pavilion itself, it's kind of cool, is built so on the single day of solstice, summer solstice, the sun will come up in the very center the pavilion itself, so we'll have a festival every year for that. And it's not a big stage, it's relatively small, but it's enough to host speakers and small shows and be able to expose people to that. And then the campus itself. The Discovery Center is probably one of the jewels of the campus. It is by far our largest facility, and the Discovery Center is there to tell the history of agriculture. To show art that's involved in the local region, to talk about the black farmer and the history that they had and the importance that they had in our agriculture history. And it's also an innovation center. Took a lot of inspiration from an innovation center in Tel Aviv and some of these other ones from around the world that we visited. We want people to understand the science and the microbes and everything that's involved in agriculture. So this will be a first in class that's here in Central Florida. And it'll host a lot of events. And this is an indoor, outdoor, all the garage doors open, so we can have a lot of speakers and people come in for that. And if you've ever been to the Winter Park Health and Wellness Center, it's very akin to that from a design, from a big open rooms that are accessible and usable for meetings. And this is a building, this is our classrooms, and this is open today. And we're very excited about this. This is the one where Valencia is taking their classes. This is, it's a nice thing for Florida and for Orlando specifically. This is the first building in the state to meet the Living Building Challenge. And it's only the second one in the Southeast to meet the challenge behind a facility up at Georgia Tech University. And it's done by what's being now termed as regenerative architecture, which didn't exist before. Our friends over at Little were the ones that put this together. The building is self-sustainable. It actually produces 5% more energy than it uses, and that energy is able to be distributed throughout the entire farm campus. All the water that's collected off the roof from the building actually goes into the greenhouse that feeds the fish that eats all the waste from the fields, and the waste from the fish is then converted into fertilizer and goes back out to the entire field. So it's a closed loop system where there's zero waste whatsoever, and it's just using all the natural resource, and it will continue. We've got tours of architecture groups and other cities coming in just to see it, because it is the very first one in the entire state, and I think that's deserving of celebration. Okay. This is what the inside looks like. This is usable today. If you need a space for meetings or for gatherings, it's demised into 4 different classrooms, and it can sit quite a few as well, and it's all high-tech. Everything is fully loaded in it. Okay. And then we also have what's called the Culinary Health Institute. So we created a partnership with Advent and with Florida Blue and Gordon Food Service, and we're actually conducting research on the use of food as medicine on the campus itself. We're seeing patients. It's a lifestyle medicine practice that we're doing with them. And my prayer is that we get approval from the hospital system to actually start using and utilizing food in the nutrition and the healing process when the patients come in. And it in and of itself is a beautiful state-of-the-art facility. There's no clinic like this in Florida today to see patients around lifestyle medicine. You'll see it's absolutely beautiful, and it's redefining. The challenge is redefine what healthcare looks like. Okay. There's lots of areas for kids, a pollinator player, butterfly walkthrough. Everything is complete. The site is ready to go. Infrastructure is already done. We've used local builders, local designers, local architects for this. We utilize 5 MWBE subcontractors so far, and we're getting ready to go to bid for phase 2. We'll bring on our AOR in the next few weeks, and then we'll bring on our general contractor. We should submit permits by the end of this year for phase 2, and that would put us in a position to start building and constructing the phase Q1 of next year. This gives you an idea, and this is very optimistic. This is we learned anything in phase 1. You tack on a year to whatever you think it's going to be. But it's okay. Phase 1 is done. We're now raising money and capital for phase 2 and phase 3, and we're already a good portion of the way through phase 2. Capital raise, we've raised $32 million so far since we started this just a couple years ago, and now TDT is our next big one. We're in for $12 million for that. When that goes, we've got some other big ones right behind that should put us in a go position. And what it does is this is an area that Central Florida and Florida in general is not hitting on today within the tourism industry. And it's all around local agritourism, and you can see how big it is. It's a $45.5 billion industry today, expected to grow to $141 billion by 2030. And Florida does not have a position in this tourism industry market. And we will have the very first one here in Orlando that brings tourists from the parks and from the areas down into Central Florida in order to see this. Okay. Not just the tourists, but also the conventions. Visit Orlando has become a very good partner, and they're already starting to market the farm to all these conferences and conventions from around the world to get them to come here. So an off day, they can go to the parks, they can do things like that, or they can spend a half day at the farm. And with them, we've designed all these experiences so they can spend a half day cooking or learning about sustainability or about energy rejuvenation, or just coming out and learning about farming and agriculture. So they're very optimistic about it. And because of them, we worked with them, Merritt's and Hello Florida, to come up with projections on how many people we think the farm will host. And we used 3 comps from around the country when we did this. And we're anticipating, they're anticipating almost 300,000 visitors per year coming to the campus, which is pretty significant, which we need to talk about parking a little bit more in that. But it does have the economic impact of this is pretty significant. It's one-time jobs of almost $113 million in one-time economic impact. Annual, $16.4 million we believe we'll be able to bring to the campus. And it creates a lot of hotel nights and festivals and conferences. All in all, tax revenue back into the entire county is almost $8 million a year and should generate about $14 million total economic. Just to let you know, side note, we are working with 52 local farmers today. We collect all of their produce, and we have a program called Fresh. It's a CSA program where we deliver it to people's houses on a weekly and bi-weekly basis. We're now approaching almost 2,000 houses that have subscribed to this, and for a lot of these small local farmers, we are their largest customer. And we're helping keep their families in business, and we're bringing fresh produce to people's houses on an ongoing basis. Separate from that, we have a mobile farmers market that's out in the market 5 to almost 8 times a week now, where we're bringing SNAP eligible. So we're bringing this fresh produce into communities that don't have access to fresh food every single day of every single week, and we're distributing that food and making it available to them, be it SNAP or through donations. And like I mentioned earlier, last year we put out a little about 2.3 million meals, and we work with farmers to rescue food that's going to waste in the field. And that food accumulated to almost 1.5 million pounds in the last couple years. And we have a compost program as well. O-Town Compost is a company we brought in, and we help them grow. And they go and they collect food waste from restaurants and from houses, and they've got, I think, almost 1,300 houses now that they're collecting from, and we're helping them grow as well. Okay. Wonderful board, and thank you for all your support. Mayor and FJ on this. We've got wonderful partners that have come by our side to make this happen, and we're very much looking forward to the growth that we have ahead. So that's the farm in 15 minutes, and that's about 7 years of work behind it.
That was pretty good, John. I looked at your deck and I thought that's okay. That's about an hour. So,
No.
nice and straight through.
I wouldn't
Fantastic.
torture you.
I have one quick question. I know you do some stuff with Orange County Public Schools, specifically over at Edgewater. I'm sure there must probably a couple other schools as well, but I didn't hear you mention Orange County Public Schools. And if you did, I missed it.
No, I didn't. Thank you for bringing that up. They've been one of our oldest and best partners from the very beginning. This initiative started with educating kids about where food comes from. And the original models, when we went into schools and built out agriculture programs. So we built one out at West Orange and now at Edgewater. And today, on campuses, we have about 400 students every day that are working on these 2 farms that we built that are growing the produce that goes back into their own cafeteria. And matter of fact, we set it up so they had to sell the produce in the cafeteria so they could learn the economics as well. So they've been great partners, and we're working with them right now on some other big projects, including potentially looking at a magnet school that we'd love to build for agriculture.
So you add one more slide in then.
Yes.
So, Commissioner Stewart and then Commissioner Sheehan.
Let me first say, John, thank you. What you've accomplished with is a real inspiration in our community. We appreciate it so much. I keep hearing great things about it, and y'all have honored me by including me every couple of months to go out and see the progress, and it is wonderful, wonderful progress.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. But to hear the stories of people who've been impacted has been the best. I mean, your inspiration has now moved Lake Silva Elementary into being a strong partner towards agriculture, urban agriculture, as well as College Park Middle and then Edgewater High School. So we're just trying to figure out in these areas that are around your school how we can bring that education that you want to provide there back into the local school and let the local school use you back in return. So I think it's a wonderful model that we started with, and I appreciate that.
Well,
And I'm excited about it. So January 2026 is when you're planning on having all this done?
if we can get designs done by the end of this year, you say all done? No. If we can get permits in by the end of this year, then we should hopefully first quarter start to break ground on phase 2.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm so excited, and the people that are out there and volunteering with you and working
Yes.
with you, they have been your most wonderful advocates in this process.
Wonderful.
And so grateful for y'all and your entire team. Thank you for the work that you have done, because it sends a model to the rest of the world, especially if you use Visit Orlando as a guide. Orlando is just not the theme parks. There's a lot of great
That's right.
stuff going on in our community.
That's
And,
right.
we're glad to partner with you, so.
Well, thank you.
very, very much. I appreciate that.
And thank you for all your support, too.
Commissioner Sheehan.
Thanks, Mayor. And John, I just want to say thank you, because during the pandemic, many of my friends that were in the arts were unemployed, and they had never had to ask for anyone for food or for assistance before. And the way that you did that food distribution in a way that didn't take away their dignity, it allowed them to get help without having, there was entertainment, it was fun, it was cool,
Yeah.
and it made them at ease at having to ask for help when they never had to before. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, because it was amazing to even participate in a couple of those events, but it was wonderful. So thank you. You didn't have to, but you did, especially at a time when the restaurant industry was hurting. But you did the right thing, and I just want to recognize you and thank you for that, because it was amazing.
Well, thank you, Patty.
And the other thing is, I worked for 14 years at the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services before I came here. And I'm just totally geeking out about reusing the fish waste. We talked about that years ago.
Yeah.
And now to see that coming to fruition, along with solar and all this regenerative stuff that you're doing, I love seeing this, because we waste so much food, we waste so much resources, we don't utilize the sun. And to see you doing this as a pilot program so that we can, extend this is so exciting as well. So again, thank you for being part of the solution, and also being a visionary. And we need to get you a bike trail out there. Does a bike trail go out there, Commissioner Stewart? Okay, cool. I'm getting my e-bike tomorrow, so I won't be part of the parking problem either. So awesome. Yeah, right on. Oh, this is great. So thank
Please
you so
come
much
out.
for your
Come out and see us.
presentation today.
Tommy's executive director, and he's the one that ran all the feeding programs, as a matter of fact. We had the ideas, but he's the strength that went behind it, especially at the Plaza Live there.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? Thank you, John, that was fantastic.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Check in another 6 months.
Okay, take care.
Okay, that's the conclusion of our public workshop. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we will convene our agenda review meeting.